get a phone call today. I guess they are. They think I'm paying next month's bill. They got another thing coming. So anyway, you're watching me on Real Talk on Wednesday, the 30th of June, 2021. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, why is Chris talking about lumps and bumps? Because, as most of you know, I am a firm believer in getting things that are abnormal checked out. I had a problem that was abnormal with me. I had it checked out, and it turns out the lump and bump that I had turned out to be Burkitt's lymphoma stage 2. Now, this just doesn't apply to having a lump in one's rectum. These could be lumps and bumps absolutely anywhere that feel abnormal. Think, hang on a minute, I know my own body. This doesn't feel right. Good morning, Transport Hub. And in particular, I'm going to say this to women. So, ladies, or people of whatever gender you are that happen to have breasts, and this can happen as well, believe it or not, before anyone starts harping on about me not being inclusive, men can get this too. Check your breasts. Seriously, men, check your moobs. Check the breast tissue. Check your chest. Have a feel. If you start feeling something there which you know shouldn't be there, go and see a doctor. Go and get a check. I have a relative in America, Wilma, her name is, and she has a lump, and she's going to start receiving radiation therapy for it. Now, my heart goes out to her. It's not nice, especially when you're stubborn and you don't want to go and get yourself checked out because deep down you think it's going to be bad, or you think it's going to be nothing. Some people are stubborn for the sake of being stubborn, and it's difficult. You see, my nan had breast cancer. My aunt, I think, could have or has had breast cancer. I actually lose track with my aunt because she's been through the wars. She's had God knows how many cancers now, and she's still here. And I love that she's a fighter. For me, that's an incredible thing. Is this person going to stop and let me go? Yes, you are. So if you feel something, no matter where it is, men, if you feel something in your testicles, if you feel a third bollock, it's not a bollock. Go and get it checked out. It's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing wrong with going to the doctors and letting a doctor, whether it's a man or woman or a carrot, examine you professionally to determine if something needs further investigating or not. So let me have a read of some of these comments. So good morning, Chris. How you doing, pal? I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. It's a shame Scotland got knocked out and England beat Germany. Hey, how about that? Hey. But excuse my poor Scottish accent. I've got a bit of a groggy throat this morning. Lee Jones, good morning, Chris. How are you? He says. You have a good day. Thank you, Lee. I will have a good day. I have a good day every day. The only thing that drags my day down really is back pain, and even I'm getting that investigated. I've got to see a specialist about that, but I'm still waiting for a date for that. But we'll wait and see. But as I'm saying, but anything that you think isn't normal with you, something where you think, hang on a minute, that wasn't there last week, whether it's in your testicles, in your scrotum area, whether it's in your breast area or chest area, whether it's in your genitalia area in general. Women can suffer from all kinds of things that even I don't understand, but I know things can feel abnormal down there. So just be wary about things. Even if, don't worry, it's not the Roni. Even if you start thinking to yourself, I've had a persistent headache for 3 or 4 weeks and nothing shifts your headache. If you have that and then all of a sudden you end up with a random nosebleed, go and get yourself checked out. That could be, I'm not saying it is, that could be a compression on the brain. A compression caused by something that shouldn't be there. You see, so you don't know. Even when it comes down to lumps on your skin, moles, you see, unusually large freckles, you could have a benign or a malignant melanoma. These things could happen. You see, skin cancer is a big killer. And not a lot of people understand skin cancer when it comes to trying to identify a dodgy looking mole or freckle or something that usually mean. I'm a little bit concerned about this right here. To me, that is just a large freckle, but I haven't always had that. That's not always been there. So do I go and see a doctor and have that examined and have them take a scraping of it and have a biopsy done? Or do I ignore it? I'm not going to ignore it. I am going to get a doctor to take a look at that, because I'm not being funny with my track history. I can't be too careful. I have to do everything I can and try and make sure that I'm getting the best care that I possibly can get. And in the NHS, a lot of people don't like the NHS for whatever your reason may be. And I understand that during the pandemic, cancer treatments were paused. And there's a reason for that. And this is what people don't understand, is when you undergo treatment for cancer, your immune system is completely wiped out. It is destroyed. It is non-existent. It isn't there. Literally, a cold could kill you. So the choice to put some people's cancer treatments on hold is a choice not to be made lightly. However, if you weigh up the two and you see someone with a prognosis of a good few years left to live, for example, you see, it's like their cancer is treatable and it is going to get better, or treatable and it's not looking too bad, sort of thing. You've got to look at the what is lesser of the two evils. Do you either give someone the chemo that will destroy their immune system but prolong or save their life, or do you not give them the chemo and they still have an immune system which could fight off COVID-19? Because it's a toss-up between the two. I would imagine patients that had serious forms of cancer, like aggressive cancer, late stage 3, stage 4, those are people that would have continued their treatment, I assume. I can't say that's what happened, but I can assume. But every consultant and every specialist have had to have dealt with a patient on an individual basis to sum up whether or not it's worth pausing their treatment for a set amount of time. So this is what people don't to understand. It's a toss-up between what is the lesser of the two evils. Do you continue your treatment and destroy an immune system which could protect you, or do you have the treatment which destroys your immune system, and then if you end up getting so much as a cold, let alone COVID-19, that could kill you? So what do you do? So this is the decisions that people have to make within the NHS, and not a lot of people seem to understand that. And I can be I can tell you firsthand how that works. I mean, when I was going through mine, I couldn't leave the ward without wearing a face covering, and that was to protect me from other people. In fact, I was social distancing basically from August 2019. That's how it was working for me. So for me, social distancing isn't that much of a problem. I like my space away from other people anyway. But it did make me slightly paranoid. So I didn't like the fact that if I was standing behind someone in the Costa coffee shop in the hospital, waiting to get my delicious caramel latte, that if someone was standing too close to me and then I hear a like that sort of thing, I began to get a little bit wary, even though I was wearing a face covering while I'm walking around in my pajamas, holding a drip, wheeling that around. You know, it just got me to a point where I didn't like being around people because I didn't want to catch anything, because I had no immune system. So that's the sort of thing that you have to think of. So anything that you see getting back on track, whether it's a unusual mole or a wart that you think is a wart on your skin, whether it's a lump that you found in your breast tissue somewhere, and yes, men, you do have breast tissue. I can prove this because I had mine removed when I was 17. Yes, that's right. But there is a technical name for it. I can't remember, or a medical name for it. I have no idea what it is. But no, I had my breast tissue removed because I was getting bullied for it. But no, 1 in 3 men have it. So, men, you can get breast cancer. This is something that is 100% real. So check your chest. No one knows your bollocks better than you. So if you know if something doesn't, you wash yourself in the shower or the burn your fingers. Your testicles start feeling something that your GP, book a doctor and tell him it's a matter of really feel desperate about it, and you really can't hold it to go and see a doctor. And you know, I wouldn't advise it, but you can go to accident and emergency, because technically finding a lump in one's region could be classed as an emergency. So go and check it out. You never know. You never know. So it's a difficult thing, is cancer, because it's making its way through my family at a rate of knots. You know, it's driving me mad. I've got family in America with it. I've got family over here with it. My aunt has it. I think I can't remember now if it's 2 or 3 different types of cancer she's actually currently got. I've had it. My great uncle Bill, I think, has it. And I'm not too sure if my godmum, I'm not sure what the diagnosis was with her recently, but my godmum, Rita, I think she might have something in her kidneys. You know, so it's absolutely ravaging my family. And that's it. We're back. We're back. I do a I was one for non-phone, and they will tell you whether or not it's worth going one direction or the other. But it is ravaging my family, and it is driving me slightly mad. And that's where I was. It is incredibly treatable, most types of cancer now. Not all are curable, not by a long shot, not all are curable, but the treatment is getting so good and so advanced lately that it's always worth a try. I mean, there's treatments for cancer now which don't involve chemo, they don't involve radiotherapy, there's immunotherapy. We're back. Yeah, that's it. So I would have loved research on that. There's no side effects to proton therapy. It's very clever, and as therapy, which I did have, I took a type of immunotherapy called rituximab. I didn't get on with that too well. It did make me violently sick. But that doesn't mean it'll make anyone else violently sick. And I had to have that bastard 3 times. But it worked. That's the thing. So, you know, there's many different treatments out there for many different types of cancer. Some cancers like mine, or a lot of cancers, are curable, but a lot of them are treatable. But it all depends on whether or not they're caught early enough. So if you find something that you're not happy with, and I'm going to be repeating myself again and again and again, if you find something that isn't right, that you know is a foreign entity on or inside your body, go and get it checked out. There's nothing more scary than finding something that shouldn't be there. I understand that. But the quicker you find something and get it checked out, the quicker it can be dealt with, the quicker something can get done about it, the quicker your mind can be put at ease, because it might be something or it might be nothing. But putting it off will not solve anything. That mole that feels a little bit itchy, you see, that weird patch. If you end up without a time, followed by a keeps happening, go and get yourself checked out. You don't know if that's something. If you end up within that, actually, if you end up with, again, that could be a compression of the brain, pushing down on the optic nerve. So there's many. Even if you end up peeing blood, there's another symptom of something you should be looking out for. Peeing blood, or unusually dark pee. You see, so go and get things checked out. Don't leave things. Don't think it's gonna fight. I'm gonna get over things by myself. Blah blah blah. Don't bother with that crap. Doctors and nurses are there for a reason. If you think you have something, and don't think you're being paranoid. Sometimes it's good to be paranoid. Sometimes you think, do you know what? It could be nothing, but it might be something. I'm going to go and get this checked out, because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather know than not know. And this is the way we have to look at things. It's like my dad recently, he's going through this now, right? He recently broke his leg, the silly sod. He fell off his bike. Now, since he's been off work, he's been at home, he's had a leg brace on. But because of he's been wearing this leg brace, and he's not been very mobile, he's been as mobile as he can be, he's developed this weird pain in his calf. Now, we all like to use Dr. Google, and I wouldn't recommend using Dr. Google, but sometimes it can be quite handy. So what does he do? Is he starts Googling the pain he has in his calf. And it turns out that Dr. Google said you need to seek medical advice urgently, because this could be DVT, or deep vein thrombosis, which can kill you. Now, bearing in mind, my dad's already had a heart attack once. I don't really want him to have another one. So he goes down to the hospital, and lo and behold, he has got deep vein thrombosis. And the veins in his leg are humongous. The pain he is going through is immense. And there are 2 blood clots in his leg, which if they'd ended up moving, they could have ended up blocking his heart. So now he has to take whatever the hell blood thinners he has to take, on top of whatever else he has to take for his diabetes and everything else he has to take for God knows what. But it's not warfarin. I don't even know the name of what he has to take for his blood thinners. But the thing is, he didn't ignore it. He went and done something about it. And this has potentially saved his life. If he just ignored it, thinking it's just a leg pain or it's just a cramp, and it wasn't dealt with, those blood clots could have moved themselves into a position where it could have killed him. So there we go. Don't ignore things that you know are not right with you. Don't ignore lumps. Don't ignore bumps. Don't ignore prolonged pains in a certain area, because that could be something, or again, it could be nothing. But go and get it checked out. So anyway, this is me talking something serious today that has meaning. I really want people to do the right thing for your own benefit, really, and others. So feel free to share this video. In fact, I encourage it. So I wish everyone has a wonderful day. We're halfway through the week. It is Wednesday. Don't think of it as half of the week left. Think of it as half of the week done. Don't have the midweek blues. Have the midweek cheers. Oh, and by the way, England won 2-0. And I wish everyone does have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll catch everyone on the next one. See you later. Mwah.